which is where the students themselves vote for their favourite ones, and that had Bangor at number 2 in Wales. And so where am I stood at the moment? So this is just outside the university building itself. So just give you an idea of what it looks like. Like I said, there'll be some better shots from down below in the city centre itself, where you can see clearly the university in all its glory. But that's what it looks like from here. So bear in mind, this was founded in 1884, so sort of late Victorian. And Bangor University's motto, by the way, is Gorai Down Deachel. If you'll excuse my Welsh, and that translates to the best gift is knowledge. Oh, thank you, Diane. Thank you. Good morning from Cambria on the central coast of California. Hello, Consuelo. And so, yeah, like I said, I'll give you a better look at the building itself as we go down below. Perhaps the most famous alumnus of Bangor University is Danny Boyle, the director who was responsible for Train Spotting and Slumdog Millionaire, 28 Days Later, 127 Hours, works like that. And I'd like to think he was inspired by some of the visuals of his university city here in Bangor. And so, yeah, as we head into the city centre itself, I should perhaps talk about city status, and because that's one thing that's quite interesting when it comes to Wales for a start. And thank you, Beverly. Thank you. Oh yeah, that's right. Danny Ball did the choreography for the opening of the London Olympics, as Kathy points out. Indeed. So, if we go back to some practice laid down by Henry VIII in the 1540s, there was it meant that anywhere with a cathedral would be given city status by definition, and each cathedral would have its own diocese and bishop. But then during Queen Victoria's reign, this changed, and city status became discretionary. So big towns like Manchester and Sheffield, Leeds, and Newcastle, they became cities during the Victorian age. Thank you, Hilary. Thank you. And on the flip side, some cities were downgraded to towns, including a couple of Welsh cities, including St David's and St Asaph, although they later regained city status in more recent times. And I forgot to say thanks to Hilary, by the way, thank you. And so what it means that there are 7 cities in Wales currently. The most recent one was Wrexham, which was became a city in just last year as part of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. And thank you, Deborah, thank you, and Trista, thank you. So there's Wrexham, and then Newport was made a city in 2002. Swansea was made a city in 1969, and Cardiff was made a city in 1905. And yeah, if anyone's having any audio issues or picture issues, let me know. I'll stay on top of it. And thank you, Rob. Thank you. And so what that means is that the only city that has remained a city in Wales since the time of Henry VIII was this one, Bangor. Hence, it's the oldest city in Wales. And incidentally, I was actually in St David's on New Year's Day. Some of you may have got that, I don't know, but that is the smallest city in Britain, actually. And yeah, I don't know if the picture should be okay. It says it's 4 green bars, so if anyone else is experiencing that, let me know. And And also, we are in the county of Gwynedd, which was at one time a kingdom, same county as Carnarvon, which we were in yesterday. And that was a kingdom from about the 12th century to the 13th century, before Edward I came and stamped his authority with his big castles, of course. And so Gwynedd, by the way, is the most Welsh-speaking county in Wales, but Bangor is actually not that Welsh-speaking in the sense that it's got 36% of Welsh speakers among its population, and that's attributed to the fact that it is a student city, of course. Whereas in Carnarvon, where I was yesterday, about 87% of the population speak Welsh, and indeed I overheard a lot of Welsh in Carnarvon, and also in Anglesey, which I've been around and about as well. Also, for those of you asking about travel, these are the bus stops where you can go to places like Carnarvon. So, for instance, if you were keen to do a holiday of North Wales, if you want to go to Carnarvon, your best bet is to come to Bangor and then go to this bus stop, the one in the distance, which is stand B, and there'll be a bus named 5C. Oh yeah, man. And yeah, for a few quid, you can jump on the bus. In about half an hour, you'll be in Carnarvon. So just thought I'd point that out. And then this way we have the Daniel Shopping Centre. And that's named after, of course, St. Daniel, the founder of Bangor. So Bangor has quite a long history. It dates back to 525 AD. That bus is going to Langdefni, where I was yesterday. And thank you, Beatrice. Thank you. So, yeah, so St. Daniel was the first bishop of Bangor. I'll just show you the cathedral in just a little bit. And welcome to those joining, by the way, and welcome to Bangor. I just thought I'd stop by this shop here. You'll see why in a minute. Because there is an animal that crashed one of my tours quite recently. But it was the best kind of invasion. And this reminded me of that. And so yeah, so who doesn't love a peacock? So. Oh, don't worry, Sandy. Yeah, I've still actually not updated the app, so it's all good. Walking down the street laughing. Anyways, that's an aside. And here, by the way, is a clock tower, but it's a Victorian clock tower, but it's undergoing a bit of work, as you can see. So, but you get the idea, I suppose. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, is it different in the North America? Is city status based on population then? But oh yeah, don't say Bangor was founded in 525 AD by St. Daniel, and he founded a monastery here, and the cathedral now stands in the place of the monastery, and we're heading that way. In the meantime, so we've got the first of what will be a few shots of the university right here. there'll be a few better shots as well. And so Bangor, by the way, it comes from Old Welsh for what meant wattled enclosure. And it was an enclosure that was around the old monastery, which is where, as I say, the cathedral now stands. It is a cathedral that's it's quite small, and sometimes people mistake the university for the cathedral, so I'm told, but you can be the judge. And so whilst we're approaching the cathedral, to give you some background as well on the industry of Bangor, it grew a bit in the 18th century, as it became a coaching stop on the London to Holyhead route. So for those people going to Ireland, they would of course take ferry services from Holyhead and the northwestern corner of Anglesey here in Wales. And I was there earlier, by the way. And thank you, Christine. Thank you. And so Bangor was a coaching stop for those travelling on the area before the trains. And indeed, the arrival of the trains helped as well, especially with the bridges that were built over the Menai Strait. So there's the Menai Bridge from 1826 and the Britannia Bridge from 1850. And so, yeah, Watling Street, yeah, it seems to be a successor to Watling Street. So even called the A5 as well, so which is kind of like the successor to the old Roman road of Watling Street. It's very smooth. Yes, so we are just outside Bangor Cathedral. Just give you a look at it from a few angles. So, as I say, Bangor Cathedral was built on the grounds of the old monastery, which was founded in 525. But this building was, well, the oldest part of what we're looking at would date from the early 12th century. Did Cromwell do any damage in Bangor? Not especially as far as I know, but there was an incident in 1211 by when King John's army invaded, and the cathedral was more or less destroyed then. So it had since been rebuilt. Just approach from this way, and yeah, I'll come back to the cathedral very shortly. I just have to give you some shots of the university again. I couldn't see on the capacity of the cathedral, but it is one of the smaller cathedrals. There's a chance you might be able to hop inside. I'm not sure though yet. And yeah, so there's the university. Gives a whole new meaning to higher education, I'd say. So yeah. Very much an iconic landmark of the city, of course. So also, whilst we're heading towards some of the other views of the cathedral, here's something that may perhaps invoke a few memories. I don't mean to do that. Yeah, may invoke a few memories of those of you who are British and of my age or older. The shop you can see on that photo there. The university, by the way, was established in 1884. So, if any of you are wondering whatever happened to Quick Save, it's like a budget supermarket. Well, they still exist, but there's only a handful of them left in the country. Quick Save is actually a Welsh brand. It was formed in Prestatyn in North Wales, a fair bit east of here. And but yeah, it's just something I thought was quite interesting. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, mostly long gone, but in Bangor it's alive and well, at least in the form of that one branch. So, the students come from all over the world. It seems to be quite cosmopolitan, does Bangor, and so just approach the cathedral from this way. Oh, thank you, Marta. Thank you. I think they're having some sort of service, but I'll just give you a little idea anyway. Oh, if you're asking about the name of Bangor, it comes from the Old Welsh for wattled enclosure. And yeah, no pews in here. They have it's like wooden benches. But yeah. So yeah, it is one of the smaller cathedrals. So I'll just give you a look at it from this angle. Indeed, Good Friday it is. Yeah, it stands to reason there'll be something going on in the church there. And oh, this is Bangor Cathedral, by the way, Elizabeth. And hello, by the way. Yeah, so the nave and the western bell tower from the early 16th century. And if I can just avoid this BMW, and I'll give you a optimal shot of the cathedral. So I look like a Welsh friend of yours, Karen. Well, I don't know what to say to that. Um, thank you, Viola. Thank you. Um, so there you go, Bangor Cathedral, and you can see the university just poking out in the background as well. Yeah, indeed, Joyce. It seems like it's a service on for Good Friday. I should say Happy Easter to everyone in advance of it, of course. And yes, like I said, it's a small city, and I'll just head down this way for some closing shots. And in the meantime, I should address the situation as well, because this was initially planned to be a sort of an Easter celebration of North Wales, because why not, basically. But it has, of course, changed into a a farewell tour, at least farewell to Hago, that is. So it's a 5-day special. We're on day 2 now, and coming up we have day 3. We're going to Beaumaris tomorrow in the island of Anglesey, which is home to another one of Edward I's great medieval castles. And then the following day, we are off to Llandudno, the queen of the Welsh resorts. And that's actually going to be a double tour, because the first tour will be on Hago, the second tour will be straight afterwards on YouTube. And it'll give me an opportunity to iron out any last minute creases before we do the YouTube tours for real, as it were. And thank you, Barbara. Thank you. And thanks, Catherine, for the link for anyone interested. So that's my YouTube channel. If you go to the, if you're on that, if you go to the live tab, it's the third from the left after home and videos. That'll show any live tours that I have scheduled. That way I can just keep a schedule going on the same way as I did as Hago. I believe the plan is that there'll be some sort of centralized version of Hago 2.0, which I first heard coined by Tish, of course. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you. And so, yeah, the idea is you can click on any tour on the thumbnail there, and there'll be a button that says notify me. And how can you tip on YouTube? In my case, Rebecca, I have super chats enabled. That's one of the perks of being monetized. So there is a rectangular box with a little dollar sign just next door to an emoji sign. On that, that'll bring up some options to contribute a super chat, which is basically a tip where you can leave with that a comment, which will be highlighted. It's a good way of ensuring that if anyone gets so big on YouTube that the chat just goes rushing by, that at least those who leave a tip will be acknowledged. I'll be able to demonstrate that on Sunday if anyone's interested. Where are you going? Yeah, I'll remind you as well. So the YouTube tour will be immediately after my Llandudno tour on Hago. I'll basically transfer over to YouTube there. That way we can see Llandudno at night time. So it could be interesting. So thank you, Jenna. Thank you. And of course, just to reiterate that, and Janet, thank you. Just reiterate that the other guides as well. The best way to support them at the moment is to, if they're looking to go down the YouTube path, then the best way to support them is just to keep watching their videos, leave them running on the background if you have unlimited internet, of course. Thank you, Dean. Thank you. Maybe on to my left hand side. I'm not sure. It looks like a kind of a newer development. Of course, you've got the university up top, of course, there. And what was I going to say as well? So, yeah, so as far as other developments, you're welcome to join me on my upcoming tours. And like I say, Conway will be the final tour. And then I will be able to give you the Liverpool tour as promised via YouTube, of course. And thank you, Linda. Thank you. Oh, what was it? Linda says it's the Pontio, it's the new uni building. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, Linda graduated from Bangor University, I gather. Yeah, no worries, Karen. I'll see you when I see you. And yeah, I was going to close on this monument as well because it's very important. This is a war memorial and very understated. It's just got a series of stones, and of course it reads the older poem, or they shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them. So, of course, I can zoom. Yeah, beautiful and understated. Also, there's another one over this side, it's basically the same thing but in Welsh, so worth a look. Just pause on that for a second there. And so yeah, I'm guessing that means the same thing as the other one. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, it's a Second World War memorial. They usually combine the memorials for both of the world wars. Why not English? Well, the English version is over on the other side. Um, yeah, I looked into it. I'm not sure what the significance of the stones are, but it is somewhat very poetic and very understated. So, just give you one final look before we say goodbye. And oh yeah, Sam's on, isn't she? Yeah, Inverness is that should be a good one. And the bell's just chiming for 7 o'clock our time, so I think that'll be a good time for me to wish you all the very best. And if you join me tomorrow or the day after, I'd be delighted to see you again. But hope you've enjoyed the city of Bangor. And until the next time, all the very best. And I'll give you a closing shot of the university. And take care.